would you talk to?
Hello and welcome. I'm here with Gino. This is our Credit Leverage X live stream. Today we're just going to be talking about, the regular stuff, credit, funding, creating multiple streams of income, getting out of broke, doing your taxes, trying to beat Uncle Sam and whatever we can else do to make some money. So, I've been talking to a lot of people. We're doing a lot of sales calls. Credit leverage is really growing and just getting really exciting. So lots of people are joining and we're just learning a lot. I'm talking to real estate investors. I'm talking to other people that are in the industry that are fixing people's credit. We're talking to people that want to scale their businesses or start their businesses, and we're hearing a lot of dreams and aspirations. And a lot of also people in America are just broke and struggling. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of ways that we're actually doing a good service, where people need help. People need to get their finances together. They need new streams of income, not just for like fun, but like to live and eat and quit struggling. You know what I mean? So I don't know. There's lots of things that we can get into. Anything on your mind right now? I know you just said you were doing taxes, and some other things, but any other things going on in your world?
No, just happy to help, man. I'm glad that we were able to make a difference and one person's life. If it's like one person a day, that's all I ask. Make a change.
Yeah. So basically, I've been really working on just getting ninja with funding. I know, and I've been learning funding from you a lot. I've been really focused on fixing people's credit, and I've been getting really into the weeds on just like how to fix people's credit even faster. I did something this week to my own personal credit, and if it works, I'll be able to start fixing I'll be able to remove hard inquiries from people's credit report within 14 days, which is like a game changer, man. It's crazy. Then we still got to figure out how to remove, collections and personal stuff off of people's credit. But inquiries are like a big thing because whenever we apply for funding, we're going to get inquiries because people need to, or the banks need to dig into your info. And if you have too many inquiries, you were telling me, Gino, the banks are going to decline you, right? So on the account that I removed, I had 9 inquiries, but they were all old stuff. You know what I mean? But from what I'm getting right now, it's saying that they're going to be removed in 10 days. So I'll update everybody as that goes. But that's pretty powerful stuff. So we went from like 45 days to 14 days now to fix people's credit. Craziness.
Those inquiries, they'll just stack up over. Whenever you're looking for credit, the banks don't like that. They're like, well, especially if you got denied at another institution and then you basically applied and you got denied. You kind of don't want to tell the next bank, oh, I did just apply here and I got denied. And they're gonna see that, because if it's not an existing account on your credit report, then they know you got denied.
Yeah, that makes sense. Some other things, I'm just teaching people how to fill out grants. I'm learning a lot about grants, which is like free money. Credit is amazing, but free money that you don't have to pay back is pretty cool too. So I actually last night was using ChatGPT to answer up to apply for grants, right? So I'm using AI to apply for different grants. And I was watching some video where we can basically apply to like 4 to 5 grants every single month, and it could actually become like another stream of income for your business, which is pretty wild. Like obviously focus on sales, but if I win some of these grants, I'm probably going to use the money just to build a little department inside of Credit Leverage to apply to grants every single month and see if that can be like a whole nother, way to make some change. So it's pretty cool.
That's a game changer. That's awesome, man. That's free money. Like Cal, any business, if you had multiple businesses during the pandemic, like could have gotten up to thousands of dollars. I was able to get up to 30 grand just on one business alone. So, and that's not money that you have to pay back either. So it's just a matter of like, structuring your business properly and making sure that you actually are a legitimate business. And that's what's really, I think everything that's happening now is really like, it's cracking down on people that are not legitimate and that don't have, an actual business, and they're just scammers. There's a lot of scamming going on, and we know about that, and that's why we want to alleviate all that and make sure that that's why we create the community, so that way everybody is holding each other accountable. And we, we're gonna hold everybody accountable because we hold each other accountable, essentially. But yeah, absolutely, you have to be able to access other people's money. And I actually learned some new banks, no doc loans for new businesses. It's like 5 different banks. I haven't even tried myself. I'm curious to see if, how I would get approved for a new business.
Do it today, man.
Yeah, we just opened up a new business, me and you, and we also have my Marvel Solutions, which I'm gonna take advantage of and see what kind of funding I can get on that business alone. And I haven't even reached out and got funding, even though it's been around for a minute. But I'm definitely gonna check out those, and if those are good banks for a new business to start, and there are no docs, we can use that to help clients that are just starting a business and they need some money right away. That would be a definite game changer.
I guess one thing I want to ask you, if you know anything, I see it in the news, like freaking China and Russia basically moving away from the US dollar, right? And the dollar is gonna, like, maybe there's just more money, bring it back to the US, fuck it. But do you think the banks will ever like stop lending money? Like, I think they'll just get more conservative. So you have to look better, right? You have to have a higher credit score. You got to have a little more equity or something. But I mean, the banks still need to make money somehow. Like, what else are they going to do if they don't lend it to businesses? They can't buy real estate right now because they tried that and they fucking lost a lot of money. It's just a weird place that the country is in. It's just a philosophical question.
Yeah, it's a good question to ask. I think it's happening now. We know about it. I'm sure a few of you heard of Fed Now. It's coming out. Removing all of these Cash App, Zells, and all this other stuff. Now the Fed can see every transaction that you make. For example, if you use Fed Now, you can look at it as a negative thing, or you can look at it as a positive thing. If you're a business owner and you have all your eggs in the right place, and you're conducting business appropriately as you should, you don't have anything to worry about. But individuals that are running businesses that are kind of sketchy, and then they're using cash as a means to maximize profits, that can affect their business. But for us, I would say, as an investor, as an entrepreneur, for anyone that's investing their money or making money, I would say here's where it gets tricky. For an investor, it's great because as the money inflates, my money basically my assets go up.
Yeah, that's true.
So I make money no matter what. Yeah. In addition to that, I have access to more money because I believe the banks are going to give out more money, not less. I think the banks are going to give out more because basically a dollar is not going to be worth what it used to be. So in order to cover a dollar, they're going to have to give you 2.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, they give you $2 now instead of 1. They have to now. They have to. Otherwise, you can't go buy anything. So it's like, that everything else is going up in value, right? So if the houses are going up in value, I believe the housing market is not going to crash as bad as people think it's going to crash. I think because of inflation, it's going to kind of stay in it's going to stabilize at a certain point. It's going to get really low to a lot of investors that are going to be really excited, like myself. We're going to buy all these properties in this land because we have the assets for it. But additionally, it's also the concept of utilizing money from other people and banks, and
buy assets that are going to go up in value.
Buying assets that appreciate. Making money is great. It's important to make money, and you have to make a lot of it to buy assets. And that's what we do here at Credit Leverage X. We create multiple streams of income, which is what myself and Robert have done for ourselves and our family. But in addition to that, we want to be able to maximize the money we get. So in order to go to banks, I think banks are going to be more in a situation where they want to give their money away, because if they don't give their money away, they don't make any money. They have to give them money. So I think if anything, if the dollar inflates as it is, they're going to be giving out more money, more loans, more opportunities for people, because they want you to use that money and make interest on that money and invest in assets that appreciate. Because God forbid you default on your loan, they'll take your asset away. At least you got assets. Otherwise, they don't really care about the money. The money is like, I would say credit is money, because credit is like a arbitrary concept that was created and the system that we use. And that same thing with money. People look at money like, oh, I can touch it, I can feel it, then it's real. No, it's not real. It's just a piece of paper. It's a paper, and it's a tool that we use to make more of it. So we just have to use the tool properly. And when you get access to other people's money, even more so, should you be more responsible to use that money correctly? Because otherwise you're going to find yourself owing the banks or other people money, and then you're going to be in even more of a tough situation. So you really need to use your money wisely. Money is having a lot of money is good, but you also have to be able to maximize where you put that money and access where the money that you get. So don't just go out and get money and just think you're going to be chilling. No, you got to take the money and you got to put it to work.
Right.
Otherwise, working. So let me caveat on this, if you don't mind. On that note is the same concept of people that are working. Now, if you're working time for money, your time is now basically think of money inflating, right? So if your money is inflating, that means you have to work more hours, more time, more slavery.
Yeah, for real.
You're just gonna have to work two lifetimes to buy one house. It's like it's not one lifetime, it's like two lifetimes now. It's like it's going to be even harder now. And you think companies, corporations are going to give you more money because there's inflation? Right. You best bet they're not. They're going to pay you, if not less, or they're going to go hire a new graduate from college who's dying to get a job, while the other people that are not working are going to be looking at unemployment. And unemployment is a very tight situation. Don't depend on the government to take care of you. And many people have, and they've seen that that's not very, I would say, beneficial when you're looking at long-term retirement. So yes, as money inflates, your time inflates, meaning you have to do more things to make that same money. And you have to basically, people are right now, I know just by experience, people that I know that are in the industry still, that are still working professional jobs, are having to work, if not twice as hard, to maintain their job, because now the companies are laying off a lot of people because they can't afford to pay them anymore, because they're looking at their assets, and they rather, instead of paying for employees, they're rather invested into assets, because having an employee is a cost. It's a loss. Right. So having a loss on taxes is great, but they already have enough losses. They don't need any more employees. They rather just have the same employees, less employees, just doing more, and maximize their time and take advantage of them as much as they can. And those individuals that are kind of in a situation like most families are, they have family, they have kids, they got mouths to feed. They can find themselves really stressed out, and they're going to have a hard time taking care of their family because of theirs depending on that one source of income. And as a result of that, their time is going to be inflating.
Yeah, that's a mic drop right there. That's crazy. Good way to think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still waiting for an employer to pay me. Goddamn people. So they'd rather probably invest in assets than pay me. No, but they're going to. But I don't know, man. Life is just kind of, it's getting interesting. People are going to be struggling. I mean, I'm doing calls with people every single day that are kind of boomers, that didn't do the right moves with their money, and now their pension is looking pretty weak, and they got a divorce, late in their lives, and they lost everything, and now they're trying to rebuild, and it's a tough gig to rebuild, but it's not impossible, right? But people need education, people need communities, they need things like we're doing to get them out of the squalor, that they're kind of creating for themselves. The rat race, yeah. But there's lots of opportunities out there. And there's still things that are really working, really well. Like yesterday, you were telling me you made, $10,000 in Bitcoin. Like there's some pretty good investment opportunities that you can still make. Houses are going up for assets. We're teaching people how to fix their credit so that they can buy houses, and how to do subject to, and how to get creative financing to buy real estate. Like this is going to be a pretty golden era if you have the right mindset and the right work ethic and you're paying attention to the right stuff. You know what I mean? And of course, access to other people's money doesn't hurt anything. So everything we're doing is pretty good. We just need to get this message out to more people.
It's the more important than the money, right? Okay, now I'm going to say it basically. The more important than the money is your time, right? But then more important than your time, it doesn't, you can have a lifetime, but is the knowledge, and not only the knowledge, the implementation and the guidance and the people that actually have done it before. If you're just doing it for the first time, you can go and do what me and Robert did, and it's going to take you years. Okay.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, it's going to take you years. You're not going to get to where we are in a year or two. The only way you're going to do that is if you have the right guidance. Now we can give you the shortcut version of that and get you access to other people's money, get your credit fixed, and you'll be able to invest correctly. Okay. Correctly. The biggest thing is investing correctly. If you can invest incorrectly, you can be in a worse situation than you are currently. So investing in the right assets, and also not giving no as an answer, meaning if something is going wrong, you find a way, right? You don't just fold and give up. So regardless of whatever business venture you went into, you have to know when to quit, but you also have to know when to not quit. So you have to know,
it is a balance.
You have to know when to push it, and you have to know when it's like, let me give it my all. Let me give it my best. Let me make this opportunity become a reality, because this opportunity is so powerful, and that people that want to change their life can. It's like same concept with doing real estate. It's like, if you really want to get into real estate, getting your first property is so critical that you get the right property, because that can be a springboard to multiple properties. Now, if you get the wrong property at the wrong time, at the wrong cost, at the wrong market value, you can find yourself at a loss. Just like, Bitcoin goes up and down, you can find yourself at a loss, and then you're going to be in the water. And when you're in the water, then you gotta find out somebody. Oh, I can rent this out. Can I Airbnb this thing? Can I maintain the real estate? You're gonna have to. That's just one example of just real estate, but like how a business opportunity affects you is substantial. So that's why we have to create multiple streams of income to allow you to kind of surpass this waves of changes that are happening. And that means regardless of what happens in the real estate market, you might be in a financial market, or you might be in a car rental business, or you might be in flipping couches. I don't know what it is. At the end of the day, as long as you have some other aspects that you're kind of like offsetting your losses in different businesses, you can sustain the business if it's still sustainable. But you have to be able to leverage other businesses, and other people's money is just one thing that you need to do. But being able to do it correctly is the biggest power that I think we have to make sure we let everybody know that, it's the biggest thing is not about only money. Having a lot of money is great. People that have a lot of money are not necessarily happy, because they have a lot of stress. But if you know how to set up your business correctly and be able to leverage assets and people to be able to run a business in the right way, then you're going to be definitely less stressed out and a lot more happy when you have those things happening at the same time without your intervention at all times.
Yeah. I like Les Brown. He says, money isn't everything, but it's right up there with oxygen. So
That's a good one. I never heard that one.
It's pretty good.
You need it to breathe. You need it to breathe.
Well, your business needs it to breathe, man.
And just make sure you breathe when you're not underwater. Does that make sense? So make sure you're breathing air. So you need money, but don't be spending money and then having to be underwater and then having to struggle to breathe because you're breathing in water because you've sank so deep. And that's what's happening with a lot of Americans is that they've either sank deep so far and they're in debt, or they're still sinking by working. So every day that you go to work, they're sinking because of inflation. Their time is inflating. Their time is not paying. The money that they're paying is not not going up. So they're basically getting less and less pay every day. Your pay, whatever your hourly rate is, whatever your salary is, just realize it's going down at least by I don't want to give a percentage, but they're going down every day.
Yeah. No, it is. It's pretty wild. I mean, the groceries are going up, gas is going up. Like those things are cutting in, and your boss isn't paying you probably anymore. Like you're getting the same amount that you were a little while ago. If you're lucky, maybe like you said in another thing, it was like a 3% increase, maybe. But it is pretty rough. People are gonna have to get creative. That's another thing we can probably start teaching people is like creative financing. That's like it's what we do. It's not just real estate. There's creative fucking credit cards, creative ways to get loans, creative ways to turn money into more money. And I mean, the interesting thing is for us is like what's the safest way that we can teach people how to flip their money, right? I mean, we have different ways. Like I got paid, $1,000 today from affiliate stuff. Like I don't even think about my affiliate stuff anymore. It's just like random videos that I make out there. And then there's also, I used to have an art business where I would make things and I would sell them all over the country. And we did a lot of that. And then there's also real estate that I still have people hitting me up, asking me for wholesale deals in the different parts of the country and creative deals and things like that. It's like, well, where do we really teach people if the world does go into a recession, what are the things that are going to last the test of time? Everybody's still going to like drink and smoke weed and eat the dark stuff, right? We could always teach people how to do that, but that's not the best use of our time or your time. Flipping cars, people need transportation. I was trying to think of like, what's the leverage with having a car rental? It's transportation. People don't think about that a lot, but like, if you need to get to work, you're gonna pay somebody to get you there, right? So that's why the car industry and then trucking. There's a big thing right now where I'm talking to a lot of truckers that are trying to launch their trucking business and they don't know it, but there's grants out there for people trying to get into the trucking industry because the U.S. needs more truck drivers. We need more people, moving our crap around and things like that. So I don't know. It's just like, it's kind of like time to stop thinking about like NFTs and like the fantasy like stuff and come back to more like solid foundational businesses, boring businesses even, that make money day in and day out, that you can leverage our credit, leverage the money to create, right? Something that's going to take you from where you are now, the long run, and become one stream of income. And then you can build another stream of income with your next round of funding or your next investment. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to think about, like, what's the backbone that people are going to spend their money on to buy stuff,
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, you gotta have two things going on. You gotta be able to make money, and you gotta be able to, leverage, and you gotta be able to invest. Well, that's three things I should say.
Yeah.
So first, you gotta make money. You gotta make as much as you can. You got to be able to leverage other people's money. If you can get access to other people's money, and this is what credit leverage is about, is if you're working, you still need more money. Nobody can say as much as you're working, you're not making enough, right? So everybody can agree with that. I'm sure we can get 100, yeses for just asking that question. And on top of that, is a concept of like, well, you got to invest. So now, there's assets that you can invest into that are going to cash flow, and those are like transportation. Those are like, affiliate marketing, any kind of, quick money ideas. And we have a lot of those ideas, and we can help people get extra income, right? We help them make some money. As we stay organized in our pursuit to freedom, that means we also need to make enough money to leave our jobs. So once you haven't make enough money, you can leave your job.
Yeah, that's what I was
really want to do, right? I think a lot of people are ready and would be willing to and are and want to do that, but they can't because they haven't made enough money in other ways. So that's what first you need to replace your day-to-day income, and that means create something for yourself. If not, leverage what we know and just take it and run with it and just use it. It's like there's nothing, you're not going to affect me or Robert in any way by doing another version of my business, another version of what Robert is doing. It's not going to affect us because it's, our businesses are still going to make money. We're already, we're if anything, we're already seasoned business owners, and we have money that's already being, going to continuously come in because the name is already known. They know who we are, and there's not much of a question. But the final step, if you ask the question of what's going to sustain time and what's going to sustain generational wealth, there is only a few things I can think of that will sustain. In that, there has to be control or the land. Okay, you have to buy the land, real
estate,
regardless of how much business you own, regardless if you buy a real estate. And I'm not even saying real estate. Like, I'm not saying the actual building. I'm not even saying what the business is there for. Like, you can buy a business, but if you don't own the land of the business or where that business is operating, just think about it. All these plazas, all these business owners, at the end of the day, it cracks me up. I mean, I'm a little weird, but I'll say this. They're all making money. Like, they're just making money. They're just printing money. They're not really building any wealth. Okay. They're just making money. Making money is just one step. You can make money, but you need to build wealth. And how do you build wealth? Is by being able to buy land. Because the land will move with the government. As the government inflates, the land will inflate. As the money comes down, the land, because the United States isn't going anywhere. This land is here, okay? Unless we take the United States and put it in Antarctica, at the end of the day, this land is here. So if you own land, you will sustain all depressions. You will sustain end of world, apocalyptic events, whatever you want to call it. You own the land, nobody can take that away from you, and your kids will be much more great and happy for that if you have kids and family, because you're not going to be on forever. But if you want to leave anything, put all your money long term, right? Long term. Once you make enough money, you basically put it into that. And there's other things that I want to get into that we can talk about, like life insurances, and being able to put your money in that. And that's another, great infinite banking. We can talk about that. That's a beautiful long-term wealth, building a trust, saving money on taxes because of trusts. I mean, you're talking like this is the stuff. This is the billionaires mentality, right? Multi-billionaire mentality. And if you want to talk about that, I think everybody wants to do that. But first, you have to, come back to reality.
Build the foundation.
Realize where you are. Realize how much money you're making. And think about, is your time worth that money? And you said, your previous employer, that means you realized the job that you're working wasn't making you enough money. So you were like, well, this is not enough money for me for my time. Because I know my skill sets, I have enough skills, I can make more money than where I'm at. So it's not worth your time to be working for a job. The idea of a job, before I was like, I went to school to get a job. I studied years, 10, 12 years, to get a job. And I'm like, man, this is, so great. But then like a job that's what they create. The job was created to kill your dreams, basically. The idea of a job was a dream killer. They used to say women kill dreams. I say jobs kills dreams. It's like, the wrong woman will kill your dream. But at the end of the day, definitely, that's a fact. And a lot of men have lost that, and women too that have married wrong men that have killed their dreams. And then there's definitely that, but there's also the main concept of your job. And your job is a social thing. It's a thing that people do, and they get a job and they work for their boss. And who's really making the money? The boss. Okay. And leverage. Sometimes the investor. Sometimes the boss makes money, but the investor makes even more. You know why? Right. Because the investor may have more money than the boss. So if I come in and buy a property or a business and I have more money because I can buy more shares of that business than the actual owner of the business or the CEO or whatever, I will make more money than the CEO of that business because I have more money to invest. I'm leveraged. I have more leverage against the business. So it comes down to money. It comes down to maximizing your time for money. And getting the most money you can. So it's very important right now to make as much money as you can in multiple ways as possible in order to invest in generational wealth land. And if you don't do that, if you don't do creative financing, like as Robert mentioned, if you don't have money and to invest, 20, 30% down on a property, there's other ways to get into real estate, other ways to get into, these lands that we have used, and I'm just waiting. Like anytime I hear about a good opportunity or a good deal is always a good deal, right? So if you get a good deal, I'm always willing to give up money for that deal because as long as there is real estate associated to that, and that's where I'm at, where I believe that what everybody needs to be at. Everybody needs to get to the point where they just want to invest in real estate or land.
Or good deals.
Deals. Yeah, you need to just be like, oh, I'm just waiting for deals to come in. Once deals come in, but the thing is, most people that are investors are sitting in these chairs that they work so hard to get to a point where they can invest. Now they're just waiting. The market is actually, as it comes down, we're in a for investors, we're in a positive market. We're in a buyer's market right now, I would say. Majorly buyers. There's no longer a seller's market. Sellers are pleading to sell. They're like, oh,
it did flip. It was like one night.
Things are different before now. It was a buyer's market, and I bought a property, and I bought my property at buyers and sellers. Like I've done it as long as the deal is a deal, and as long as I envision the deal and what I'm going to do to the property, I don't care what the price is. I really don't. I really don't, because I know I can maximize profits if I do certain things to the property. But the thing is, when you're maximizing deals, you have to realize there's things that you don't know about when you look into a deal. But if you're already on a down market, you are not going to lose. Almost like the only way you lose is if like I said, the whole world's going to crash and everything's going to go to shit, right? But still, you still own the land, you still own that asset, and regardless of what the value of the asset, it's like holding a share, right? If you hold an Apple stock, and even if the stock goes down to $20 a share, as long as people are still using this Apple phone, they will continuously go up again. It will come back. Right. It will return to its, if not original, or maybe surpass its original value, because it's something that is of value and people are going to continue using it. So people are always going to need a place to live. They're always going to need land, and they're going to be, in order to live somewhere, you got to have a piece of land. In order to set up your car or your wherever you want to sleep somewhere, they're going to charge you to park your car there. Now people can't even find places to sleep, because everywhere they go, they give out tickets just to park their car. People are sleeping in their cars nowadays. It's crazy out here. But this is reality. So you don't want to be that guy on the street trying to find a place to live or sleeping in your car. You want to be the guy that people are coming to looking for a place to live.
Right. Looking for an opportunity for them.
That's like laying it all out there and just letting everybody know, like, well, this is reality. There's 3 things to this, and you need to get your money right, get your business in order, or your personal assets in order, or get your finances in order, get out of debt. If you're in debt, we can help you get out of debt. We help you get your credit fixed. We'll get you access to money if you don't have money, and then invest in assets that are making you money. Don't worry about real estate. I would say if you don't have $100,000 in the bank right now, don't even talk to me about real estate.
That's what I was going to say. The easiest thing that I could teach someone on how to make $1 million would probably be to start an agency, right? So we're probably going to have to make a whole part of our program, like agencies, coaching, e-commerce. Like, I don't know about e-commerce as much. The margins are kind of small, but there's still a lot of people buying crap. We're a consumer nation. So if you can create a product, or if you can find a good deal on a viral product, then e-commerce is the way to be. But agencies, because just like we were talking about, businesses need leads. Businesses are going to be struggling. They're not going to be able to turn off their marketing, because they need to find the right people at the right time to buy their products. You know what I mean? So there's lots of different ways, though, that people just need to open their eyes, make a plan, stick to the plan. And again, like, it's like boring businesses are never going to go away. Like, I've talked to people that have concrete businesses, people that have HVAC and AC businesses, people that those boring businesses that people need, those are like the salt of the earth. And if people can get funding to become an owner in some businesses like that, you're going to be in a good spot as well. But real estate, transportation, jobs, things that support real estate, like I was just talking about HVAC, like in Arizona, if somebody's AC goes out and you're a landlord, like, people will die in your house. Like, you got to go get that shit fixed. So, like, there's things like that, man, that you don't even think about, but it's just like, you got to put yourself in a power position. That's another thing that I was going to talk to you about. It's like, positioning is key. Like, not only does a business need to have good marketing, but you need to be positioned as the king of your market. Yes. That's going to save you. That's going to lift all boats, everyone around you.
There's a lot of markets, and in every market, if you don't, we can make a bunch of people that are different business owners and different brand media marketing. Like, actually, everybody's a media. I just saw this recently on Instagram. Everybody is actually a media or a brand. Like, everybody is a brand. Your name is your brand, right? You're the brand. Yeah. The brand is, well, if I go ask someone else about, hey, who is Robert Leon? Like, is he a good person? Does he have a good reputation? What is his credibility, right? Your credibility follows you throughout your life. Okay.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you're credible, amongst your people, amongst your peers and everybody around you. Because if you're not credible, anybody that comes forward and tries to do business with you, or comes and wants to buy your services, and then they ask around, they're not going to go to you. So, your biggest thing is your reputation is the most valuable thing you can have, and you want to maintain that reputation. And you can create businesses based on your own desires. Like, what I wanted to do was, I did real estate. So I love doing real estate. So I started investing in that. I started creating, like my own real estate following. That's what I did. That's why I did Instagram, and I because I had real estate already, and I was like, well, let me show people what I'm doing, right? So I was like, That's creating. That's just you. That's who I am and what I represent. And people know me as that. Anybody will go around. Do you know? Oh yeah, he's a real estate investor. That guy, he knows real estate. So, but it's also like I've done other things that I've started doing in cars, and I've done other things. So it's like, well, now it's like my reputation, supersedes me. Like I'm like I'm like, well, no, I'm. It's not about me anymore. It's about my reputation. And it's like it's about keeping that reputation and making sure that everybody around you is trusting you. They believe that your word is your bond, as we say, keeping your word, and you're keeping your bond with the people around you, because those people matter the most, right? Family and friends. And on top of that, you want to be able to start reaching out and creating like a media company, almost like a media agency that you're talking about. And I think everybody can become their own media business, basically. And they just have to market what they're already doing. If they're doing something, or they're interested in art, they're interested in I don't know, creating sculptures, like I don't know, like something like this, like whatever, dude. Like, at the end of the day, that's kind of funny. But whatever you're doing, whatever you have the skill sets to do that I don't have, and Robert probably doesn't have, and you might have some skills that you can sew. I don't know what it is, whatever it is that you can do that no one else can do. That's your thing. So take that and run with it, because you can make a lot of money with it. And then you can do that because nobody else can do it. But make sure your reputation is there to back you up, because if you don't, you won't have anybody following you or even wanting to do any business with you.
Yeah. And then also, like, we're going into the metaverse era where like Facebook, Google, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, like they own everything, right? That's where all the attention goes nowadays. So if you want to have a business, you got to be online. You got to be making content. So if you do have a skill, all you got to do is whip out your phone and record you doing that thing, and then get funding and really promote the heck out of it. And that's how you can really start to scale in the metaverse. Like the craziest thing to think about is that like these big companies, they're going to start controlling what we know and what we learn and what we see. And they're not going to let us really see what's really going on in the outside world. And then everyone's attention is going to be more and more focused on their phones. Like if I had to make a bet, I bet more people are going to be looking at their phones than less people are going to be looking at their phones in the next 10 years. You know what I mean? So it's becoming the metaverse, right? And you need to be able to take over your little corner in the metaverse by creating content, creating businesses, doing whatever it is you do and documenting it. And it's very weird, but that's kind of like the direction that businesses are going in right now. And like, that's kind of what we're doing. We're creating the finance corner of the market is going to be ours. And that's what we're going to talk about and dominate with content, with businesses, with, all the things that we're doing. And that corner that we build is going to take over and spread to other things that we do and things like that, and that's kind of the future.
And I'm standing here, with you as we go, at the end of the day, we both stand for our word and
our digital real estate.
Yeah. And the big thing is like we as a financial gurus, right? We have this, we stand in this corner, and like, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be, like kind of like mimic my space there. That's fine, but at the end of the day, we don't think that we are going to affect others in any way, shape, or form, because we expect ourselves to dominate, and we're going to dominate because we know everything, and there's nothing else that I don't know that others don't know. Is just that information is out there. It's not that it's not out there. It's a matter of what you do with it, how you implement it, how you market it, how you take care of your customers. How are you going to take care of the people around you? So if you're taking care of people, trust me, that's going to go a long way. If you're just trying to market just to get followings, if you're just trying to market just to make as much money off each customer and that comes into your door, opens up your door, and you're just trying to milk each one, I guarantee you won't be around forever. So, if it's about money, that's definitely not where you should be cornered at. You need the money, but you also need to come at it with a different mentality, which is, I'm trying to make a difference. I'm trying to be. I am different. I have a different mentality. I have something unique to offer. So whatever that uniqueness that every individual has, you have to put that out there, and you have to do it in a way where it's very, very respectful and it's understanding, because not everybody's gonna believe you. At the end of the day, you have to be able to create that promise that people don't believe anymore, because there's a lot of scammers. We talked about there's a lot of scammers out there. And I'm glad that Facebook, Instagram, and Meta is now by allowing others to get verified, they've created a situation where people are now the true business owners, true people that are really, really out there putting their face out there and say, yeah, this is who I am. Then now there's no more question of whether that person is there and they're really going to be there. Because now it's like, well, if I'm doing business with this individual, he's not just some random entity or a corporation that can just go BK, I'm out. No, he's putting his reputation out there. And I think that's what's the biggest thing is that now when you're going to metaverse, you are going to go in as yourself. Like, my name is Gennady Nadarov. I am going to be in the metaverse as that person, and I'm verified in the metaverse as that person. So that way, it's not like there's a disconnect between me as a physical being and me in the metaverse or online on Instagram or Facebook. I am the same individual, and there is no that eliminates questionability. That eliminates metaverse legitimacy. Now metaverse is legitimate because people that are verified are online, are online presence.
That's like your social security, right? That's your little blue check.
Your security, exactly. Your social security. My social security, my United States passport or whatever the hell it's connected now to the metaverse. Right. I am like this, so I am here and I exist, and I will forever exist because I don't intend to disconnect. Because I intend to maintain, because this is where we're going. If you're not connected to the metaverse, if you're not online and your presence isn't there, you will be forgotten.
Right. Oh man. So yeah, it's like you're talking about real estate in the real world, digital real estate. You gotta. It's a fight for territory, right? We gotta fucking
real estate, bro. I think there's not enough real estate in the real world. So guess what? That's what it is, right? So, there's not enough real estate in the real world. There's not enough houses. Well, there is actually. Once everything gets bought up by the few, right? The few. Like BlackRock is buying up a bunch of real estate everywhere, trillions, and we as entrepreneurs are like just like small cats in the sea, in the sea, or like small fish in the sea. We don't really have those, that much money, or how much money can we buy, right? So it's like we're competing with these hedge funds, and trust me, you think these hedge funds are going to sell once they buy the real estate or they buy the properties? Once they own the asset, they're going to control it. They're not going to let anyone else take that from them, and they're going to hold on to it. And they're just going around trying to take everything, right? So if anything, I rather people buy real estate, because at least that person one day may sell it, or one day may help his family in a time of crisis. That money will help them. That land will help them generationally. But the hedge funds, they're not going to come and knock on your door. Hey, here's some money because you're living here.
Well, yeah, and they're going to make everything more expensive. They'll buy up a whole neighborhood, and then they'll pay an extra, $500,000 on the final house that they buy in the neighborhood, raising all the value of all the houses in the neighborhood, and then they'll just sit on it and not give it to anybody.
The best way to make money is is bring the economy down as much as possible to make it cheaper for them to buy more. Remember, they keep printing money, they keep buying more. You out. It's like, well, let's just bring the prices down. Let's just bring the prices down. Let's buy more and just keep printing money. So as you print money, prices come down. But who has the money? They have the money. Right. So the more money that hedge funds have, the more real estate they buy, and as the price continues to sink. Yeah, some of us that are smart will pick up a few properties here and there, but essentially they're picking up all the property. Everything is going to be owned by these BlackRock hedge funds, global elites, and they're going to own all these assets. And then it's going to be like, well, what can we buy? Right now, it's like
it's going to be a renters society. That's what they say.
Yeah, it's going to be a rental society. It's going to be a JOB society. Everybody that has not invested is going to be left behind, just like I said. Left behind in the real world and also in the metaverse, because the metaverse is now another realm that you need to be able to connect it. If you're not connected in the metaverse and you're not connected in the real world, then you're going to be forgotten. Like literally, like if there's no one else that's going to know you even existed in this planet. The fact that you were born was a big enough. So I'll say this last thing. Don't leave this earth without making your legacy last, or at least make an impact in a positive way for you and your family, and that way, at least, you didn't just exist and breathe air for nothing. So like, like take advantage of the fact that you're alive, make that your goal and goal in life, to focus on creating generational wealth and become financially free for yourself and for your family and for your generations. If you plan and intend to take care of your family, I think everybody is. So that's what I think is the biggest power. And metaverse is not going away. Get connected, stay connected, and don't worry about real estate. If you can't buy any right now, make as much money, because there might be more real estate available in the metaverse where you can buy and start making money online.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it all comes down back to the basics of what we're teaching here and what we're preaching here. Basically, make a plan, right? Make a plan to get out of debt. Work the plan, get your credit together, get your credit as high as it possibly can go, get funding, create multiple streams of income. And that's pretty much what we're here to talk about. We'll be going live, right around 12 o'clock Pacific time every Wednesday. Check out creditleveragex.com if you want to learn more, and definitely reach out to us if you want to work with us. We're excited. We've got some amazing opportunities that is just changing people's lives, changing the money game, helping them get financial freedom. But that's pretty much all I got. Any other thoughts before we wrap up, Gino?
No, I think that's about it. I hope everybody got some value out of today. I think should change my mentality. And every time I talk, I always think more and more into it. So it's like I talk to myself while I'm talking to you.
Exactly. Hey, sometimes you need expert advice, man. You need to talk to yourself a little bit.
To my own reality. Yeah. So yeah, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys on the metaverse. How about that?
There you go. See you guys on the next one. I'm gonna end this now. Peace out, everybody.